Hello. Well, how you going, YouTube? I thought I'd start a do a video anyway. Uh, this is my current desktop. Now, what I actually wanted to do a video on was scams and other things to watch out for on the internet, especially if people are not wary of these things. Particularly when you're on Google and you type in a result like something like this. Most of the time, these links at the top are okay, but that one's okay, I think. Let me have a look. That one does look okay, but saying that, there was a while back where you used to click on the side and there used to be a lot of links on the side, which I think Google's actually changed it around a bit now to make it a bit more friendly to things of that nature. The other thing that I have noticed, and people don't seem to know, so I'll use my Facebook as an example. I'll log into my Facebook and I'll show you. Now, in my Facebook, normally you get these little ads down the side of your page. Now, most of them are okay, sometimes. But there has been occasions where some of these ads have been targeted towards specifically giving people malware or getting malware or trying to get people's credit card details and get information and other things of that nature. Facebook may have fixed that up a bit initially, but yeah, that's basically what it's been doing lately. Now, saying that, most of these ads are okay, but I would be careful what you click on and pay attention to what you're clicking. If it starts to get to ask you for too many details, I'd question why it's asking you for so many details in a certain situation. I mean, if it's something like Woolworths, that's fine. If it's something like Telstra, that's fine, because most of that stuff's pretty relevant to the world these days. But I mean, that's an example of Facebook stuff that can go wrong. Aside from Facebook, be wary of sites that normally pop up ads, and try to be wary of when you're downloading things too, like in Google. I'll just give you an example. CC Cleaner. Now, CC Cleaner has a website, which is cccleaner.com. www.cccleaner.com, and normally redirects you to their website. Now, the only issue I found is when you click download first time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these. This is if you want the paid for version. They've got the business edition, professional edition, and all that. But if you go to something like FileHippo, which is where most of the free software is, you will find on the side that sometimes there is download buttons that don't necessarily correspond to anything that you're doing at the time. There, for example, or other places. Basically, when you're doing this, try to aim for these little download buttons, those types, basically something in that nature. I mean, this is not the best example, but it's just an example of how, or different buttons that you can press, or different things to different websites. Now, I'll give you another example of K-Lite codexes. You go K-Lite. Now, K-Lite codexes, packs, you go here, and if you're clicking on to download the latest pack, it'll take you to different screens. Now, most of the time, like these type of things, I mean, I don't really trust them. I have tried the WinZip update driver thing. That's not too bad. I've actually tried that. That's actually not a bad little program. But these types of things, I don't know. I sort of question where some of these, there's certain things that I question. But then I do question a lot of things, and I do have a certain degree of paranoia when it comes to what I'm downloading and how I'm downloading it. Anyway, you go to say something like download Mega Codex Pack. And they got a shitload of buttons here now. Be careful, because I mean, this has nothing to do with what you want to download. It may be a very direct button, but it's not anything to do with it. Normally what you're looking for is the mirror one, and then from there you've got this download button here. What some people do is they click that, or they click, yeah. Most of people just go to this for some, or something of that nature, basically. I mean, just, you know, it's simply common sense. It's simply paying attention to what's going on the screen. I mean, there's so many different buttons you can push in respect to download that most of the time it can get a little confusing sometimes. I mean, another example. I don't know where this one is. I think it did it .hr. This is another website. I mean, look how many download buttons do they have? I mean, they have this one here, right? I don't know. I'd go with that one, to be honest, because that is definitely not the one you want, and that's definitely not the one you want. I don't know. There's always these little buttons here and there that you just as well like. What was the point of clicking on that? I mean, yeah. Anyway, what else we got? So yeah, I mean that's an example of when you go to some websites and you get buttons that aren't necessarily necessary to download the item. This on the other hand, I mean, this is download. CNET's not too bad most of the time. I mean, I don't know. I still don't like these sort of links that skew you off to the side, like before you download, affecting errors, yada yada yada. I don't know. I don't know whether it's CNET specifically or other companies, but I mean, other companies, when somebody leaves something like that at the side of the screen, I want to guarantee that that would be a proper link or not. I mean, to be honest, and that's just my personal opinion. I don't trust things like that when somebody puts something like that on the side of my screen. And there's a certain degree of trust. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying all companies are bad, but some companies need to reevaluate who they're trusting with their links and things like that. This is not so bad. I mean, this is the CNET downloader. Also, if you are downloading things like CC Cleaner and things of that nature through these types of websites, be careful, because sometimes it'll tack extra things onto the install without you knowing, if you're doing it that way. But if you're on Night, which is a pretty good freeware site too, it tacks everything together and doesn't give you the extra crap that all the other installers would. This basically installs everything, but it installs everything with it doesn't require you to have, to be honest, I've got to actually install, what have I got to install? I've got to install, what? That's the question. Oh, that's right, yep. I've got to install, codecs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download it anyway. This pretty much in itself is, I mean, this is just an example of some of the things that can happen when you're on the internet. And it is possible to tick the wrong things or click the wrong things in necessary order. Now look, each to their own, I guess. You know, mistakes are going to be made. Sometimes we do stupid things. We don't pay attention to what we're downloading. That's a fact of life. But if you pay a bit more caution to what you are doing and what you're downloading and how you're downloading it, things won't get as confusing, or confused, or things won't get as bad in the sense that you won't run into as many malware or adware or little toolbar things and things of that nature. I mean, as you can see, I don't have really. I mean, I'm using Google Chrome at the moment because I've just found it faster with some of the websites I use. I still use Firefox occasionally. I still use Internet Explorer. I mean, it depends. See, the fact that most people don't realize is that sometimes when you switch, sometimes you have to switch browsers to be able to get a website to work, because some websites are stupid and they've actually only formatted for one specific type of browser, which in itself is stupid, but there's not much you can do if the company's chosen to go that direction with things. But yeah, look, this is just an example of things. But I mean, look, to be honest, it's not that bad. Change apps, they're fine. So yeah, I mean, this is an example. See, This is just an example of some of the download buttons and things you can get that you don't necessarily need, or you get extra things that you don't need. Now, common sense on the web. I mean, look, if you're chatting to somebody on a Skype program or something of that nature, or you're using Skype per se, or you're using a chat program like Trillion or something of that nature, try not to accept files from people. I mean, there's nothing wrong with accepting files, but what I would do is before you even open a file, like example something like that, I just go scan with whatever antivirus program you're using, which I've got Zonal, and I've got Malwarebytes. So I'd scan it with both. I'd scan it with both programs to be truthful. I'd just make sure that it hasn't got anything, any infections or anything of that nature. Well, I mean, the only reason I've got the scanning on the context menu for me is because for Malwarebytes is because I've actually got the pro version of it, which I've got to recommend the pro version. The pro version is actually not that bad, and they just released a new version over here, which is not too bad, and I have had no issues with it majorly, and it seems to work nicely with most of the things and plays nicely with Windows 8 and everything else. But yeah. That's just an example of things that you can do. Now, Google, I mean, as I said, if you're chatting to people, also be cautious if somebody asks for your credit card details, or be cautious about websites that do ask for specific details. And I mean, don't pay too much. I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I've created a separate account for everything. This includes the internet-related transactions, things of that nature. You create separate accounts, you create separate things to sort of go with different areas, and you create separate passwords and stuff. And you have separate accounts for everything, because then if one thing gets compromised, you don't compromise the entire lot, basically. So, that's the reason that I've done it that way. I mean, to be honest, and you also have backup accounts just in case something goes wrong or something happens. The best, as they say, there's nothing wrong with having a backup plan to specific things, especially these days with the amount of times that things go wrong or things screw up, basically. CC Cleaner, you got K-Lite codexes, look, I mean, you just got to learn to be a little bit more cautious and security conscious these days, especially because it's so easy for somebody to scam you out of something. Also, pay attention to people who who want specific details or need specific details or I mean, there's nothing wrong with being friendly, but always have your guard up to a certain extent, and always have a backup plan, and always be able to give somebody something, either not a fake email address, but maybe an email address you created temporarily. If you need to use that email address, that's fine, but there's nothing wrong with creating temporary stuff, and there's nothing wrong with creating stuff to compensate, for backup, but basically having a plan and being security conscious about most things that you do. And it's better in the long run if you do that, because you're less likely to get your main accounts and things of that nature compromised. Try to be smart about what you do too. I mean, don't if you're gonna sort of take yourself to the point, I mean, if you're gonna do certain things, just be cautious with the way you do them. I mean, look, I'm a paranoid, suspicious person by nature, so I'm gonna have backups of things. So I mean, look, it depends on the person, as I said. But the best thing I can say is be security conscious. Don't give out account numbers, things like that. I mean, try not to give those type of details out, because those details can get so. I mean, it's so often that those things get fleeced across the net and things of that nature, because it's always possible for people to do that. Yeah, so, I mean, as I said, it simply takes a bit of caution, smart ideas, and just, pay attention to what you're doing. But I mean, I don't know, that's just me. I've noticed in the initial run of everything that I've done, um, it's good to have a backup plan. Just it's good. It's good to be cautious too. It's also good to make a note of things when you're chatting to people in case somebody claims that you said something when you didn't, and just have a note of things you did or you didn't do. So yeah, I don't know. That's always how I see it anyway. I mean, people can't refute it if it was written down or if it's been, there's a record of it basically. What else? Aside from that, in good gaming and everything else, I mean, I play the Xbox. I played a combination of different things, and I mean, as long as you're relatively cautious and you're smart about things, that's the main thing. I mean, that's all. That's all you can do for yourself is be smart about things, basically. So let's see. What else we got? Well, I've been testing, as you can see, I've currently got Windows 8 on here. I've been mucking around with that a bit. Things that I would recommend. Well, I mean, main things I would recommend. Well, most people don't know this, but Zone Alarm now has a free antivirus program. It's not as good as if, say, you paid for it, but it's pretty good security for the fact that it includes a standardized firewall. Not probably the one type of firewall I've got on. I mean, my firewall's a bit stronger because there's obviously a difference between the paid product and the unpaid product. But if you go to free downloads on the Zone Alarm website, go to Zone Alarm Free. It's got two-way active firewall, inbound, outbound, protects against hacker attacks and things of that nature. Anything of that nature, basically, it kicks them back and just tells them to fuck off, pretty much. The paid-for product I recommend for Zone Alarm is, of course, the Zone Alarm Extreme Security. And it's well priced. I mean, for what you get years protection or 2 years protect. Well, I mean, depending on what you want. I think 2 years protection is like $79 or something. You save by getting more years protection. But it's for 3 PCs basically, and it's it's pretty good in that sense, of being able to stretch your license across those PCs and stuff. Another one I would recommend is Kaspersky Internet Security. To be honest, probably better off going Kaspersky Pure. To be honest, I don't recommend Norton's. I don't recommend McAfee. Mainly because they're very bloaty in the sense of as themselves, as a sense of a program and stuff in that nature. So what I get for Kaspersky is I get the Kaspersky Pure 2.0, which basically it's a combination of firewall can also be used across the network to be able to update across the network, and you can update all the PCs at once. It covers features, benefits, comes across. I mean, basically it's got your protects your identity, digital assets, PC performance, multiple security. I mean, it's features. Home window control system watcher, file advisor, password protection. I mean, the good thing is also you can have it on your tablet as well. Then you've got internet security, which I think, even that internet security for that matter, which has safe for even stronger. And I've actually used this feature before because I used Kaspersky for a little while. I've got Zone Alarm now, but secure data keyboard protects the. I mean, the only reason I changed over to Zone Alarm is because I don't know. Zone Alarm and Kaspersky are pretty much the same engine in context, but I don't know. I wanted to go back to Zone Alarm because they tend to have the better firewall. But I mean, Kaspersky as an antivirus, I've never had any issues where it basically causing me any issues really, and it was quite good at the time. So what else? Tablet, which if anybody's got a tablet, or a Android tablet or an Android phone. These it's not bad actually. It's got anti-theft, it's got everything built in. PDA, choose an option. Basically, it's got everything world class, maximum performance, optimized interface, internet threat protection. It's got everything that's built in you basically need. The other one I would recommend, which comes standard as a part of Windows 8 now, is Microsoft Internet or Microsoft Security, which is basically Windows Defender combination. But now they've combined it into Windows Defender and Windows 8, which it's combined onto one basically. That's another one I recommend because it works pretty well. I mean, if you just want standardized protection, but I mean, it depends on the level of protection. It depends on what you're going to be doing with your computer, how much internet-related security stuff you're going to need, and things of that nature. I'd recommend this. I'd recommend Zone Alarm, and what's the other one? I would recommend Zone Alarm. Okay, so we've got Zone Alarm, Kaspersky, NOD32, which I haven't used it for a while. But the only reason I ever stopped using it because it was a tad overprotective when I used to use it years ago. But NOD or ESET Australia, which this is like a lot of the good antivirus engines are German ones. Percentage of the good ones are German ones. This is like a German antivirus engine. Most of them German or Russian, either one of the two, because they're pretty good that way. They've got a mobile security suite as well. Whereas I don't think Zone Alarm has released a mobile security suite yet, or as of yet. They've got the internet. They've got smart security, which you go into it, and it's got a combination of different things on it. It's got some customizable behavior, like things like it checks for registry entries, gamer mode. I mean, it's got all the basic features, but it's also got an intelligent firewall as well on authorized users. I mean, it's got. I used it a while ago, and it's always got a good rating. It's always got a good rating in my book. It's always been a good antivirus. I don't use it as much now, but then saying that, I don't know, I like to beta test software and sort of just test software out and see how it goes. And to be honest, I don't know, I haven't had a virus for God knows how long now. I haven't had a virus for yonks, a long time actually. In fact, I haven't had one for a long time. The only reason I ever have problems is because I put too much beta software on my computer, and then I end up clogging things up. That's the only reason I ever have an issue myself, but that's because I like to test things. Got proven antivirus protection, as I said. So yeah, basically you've got this. So that's basically, it's not bad. I mean, what else is there? I don't recommend Norton's. I don't recommend McPhee. I don't know. AVG, Avast. They're okay as a free antivirus, but I don't know. Lately I haven't found they provide a great level of protection. I don't know. Like, I mean, much of a muchness really, but saying that, I mean, everybody prefers a different thing, but I've never used their paid for products, Avast, that is. So I don't know what they're. I mean, I don't know. It's just, yeah, to me it's come down to Avast as a free antivirus. I mean, just, you know, as a free antivirus in general, just being a free or an antivirus that's free. I guess if you're going to go that way, go that way. But I don't know, just, yeah. It has got its own mobile option, but yeah. AVG. I don't know. I have found in the past, and I'm not. I mean, look, maybe AVG has improved. Some people were saying to me that AVG has improved a bit. They have improved their engine a little bit, but in the past, it has missed things that say Zone Alarm have picked up. So, I don't know, I mean, it's sort of hit and miss, but I mean, then saying that, who's to say that somebody didn't turn off features of a specific antivirus because they were trying to get onto a website because it told them to turn it off? I mean, sorry, but I mean, I face facts. Not everybody's that computer savvy, and some people are a bit stupid when it comes to something telling them to turn their antivirus off, and they turned it off, basically. And not everybody's that bright, if you know what I mean. But, like, I mean, most of this type of stuff, but, I mean, look, I don't know. I haven't tried it, and I could probably try it and just see if it does work, but then, I don't know, I'm not really in a big rush, because, I mean, I'm going pretty well with most of the things on my computer, so, protection, privacy. But, yeah, I mean, there is a free version of this as well. I think there's a free version of this, free version of Avast. The free version of Avast doesn't have a firewall, so you're not getting that as a plus. But I can say that the free version of antivirus, spyware, and everything else has a firewall built in for Zone Alarm, for the Zone Alarm one, because it has both of those built into the package. Even though it's free. There we are, ABG3 free. It's three people. No kidding. This is the free one, which free mobile protection. So yeah, I don't know. As I said, sort of just come to the. I don't know, much of a muchness. I don't know. I will say, if you choose to download that, that's your choice. If you choose to download that and use AVG, that's fine. But AVG, Avast, the free Microsoft one, which is Microsoft Security Essentials, which is the free Microsoft one, right here. You go here and you can download the free Microsoft one, which is supposed to be pretty good as well. And I know there's in Windows 8 they've installed that as the standard antivirus when you first get the computer, and then you've got the Windows standard firewall. But I don't know, I never really liked the Windows standard firewall because it's not as robust. But yeah, that's that and that. Yep, as you can see. So I mean, look, it's pretty much your choice. It comes down to you individually and whether you choose or what you choose to install. Saying that, these are the ones that I recommend. These are the ones that come out on top most of the time. I wouldn't say Avast and AVG and Norton's and McAfee don't come out on top in my book because of the way they interact with the computer. Sometimes they have issues of slowing things down. I don't know. Things may change in the future, but I don't know. It's just with Norton's, they're meant to be. It was meant to be a good antivirus initially with the release, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It just leaves me scratching my head sometimes with Norton's. So I've never really had a big thing for Norton's, or McAfee for that matter. Aside from that, those would be my major, the ones that I pointed out. The other ones would be the major considerants of good antivirus and good firewall combinations. The top of my list goes Zone Alarm, which is a combination of firewall, antivirus, and everything else combined. What else? What else do we have? There is, I mean, like the corporate edition of Norton's and I think McAfee and stuff is supposed to be good, but yeah, it's sort of. I still question things on that retrospect, really. What else? Is there anything else I can think of that majorly? Mobile security. Yes, I would recommend, if you're going to download mobile security, I'd recommend you get virus protection for your mobile. Because it's so essential these days, especially with the amount of attacks that can be done on the mobile or do through the mobile. And the funny part is I've seen people doing networking and virus networking through a smartphone and banking for a smartphone. I'm like, that's not very intelligent because it's not. Well, I mean, it's a mobile device. It's able to. I mean, you got Bluetooth access. I mean, it's surprising the amount of loopholes there are in some Bluetooth devices and other things of that nature. And you just got to be careful how you use them. And you got to make sure that you have virus protection. It's essential these days, and it's even for Mac these days. It's starting to become essential to have virus protection because most people claim Mac doesn't need it, which is bullshit to be honest. Because I do believe it does need it to a certain extent, because it may seem like at the moment there is not a lot of viruses around for these things, but you'd be surprised the amount of viruses and the increase of virus protection needs is increasing on a lot of mobile devices, Android or otherwise, Linux devices and things of that nature. You'd be surprised, but not everything in itself. I mean, it's increasing slowly but surely, but it is there and it is required. I mean, some distros of Linux don't necessarily require virus protection. The only reason they require virus protection is because they're being protected from a Windows virus most of the time. There is of course, a few Linux viruses out there and things of that nature, Unix as well. So, yeah. So look, I thought I'd point that out anyway, so people know. And yeah, look, just best thing you can do for yourself is, just be wary, be protective of your computer and your contents in your computer as well. So yeah. What else we got? Yeah. If Malwarebytes in itself, thought I should tell people, Malwarebytes, if you're considering buying the paid-for version, is pretty good. I've been using it for a few months now, and I haven't found any really, really big issues with the scanner. The scanner seems most of the time seems pretty efficient. But if you get the Pro version, I think it's... how much is the Pro version? The Pro version in itself is about I think it's $24.95 or something. I think I paid. It might have been $24.95, I'm pretty sure. I paid $24.95 for it, and it was a pretty good price at the time. So I haven't had to talk to support about anything in particular. And it runs alongside Zone Alarm very fine and good at the moment. So I haven't had any issues. Support for Windows XP. Yeah, so yeah. There's rapid scanning. I mean, there's a lot of new features. It's got a real-time scanner, proactive protection, which protects you from your nasties and things of that nature. I'll show you the price anyway. It should be here, so they can get the page up. So it's $24.95, and you can pay with PayPal, Visa, Amex, MasterCard, and everything else. So yeah, you also get a backup CD, extended download period, things of that nature. Just as long as you keep a copy of the license information for it in a convenient place, you should be fine. But yeah, yeah, basically that's, yeah. And I got a money back guarantee too, which is all purchases have 30-day money back guarantee in case there's any issues. But I haven't had any issues with the program. And yeah, it seems to work very nicely. It picks up a few things that it picks up some things that that a lot of the things will miss because they're rooted into the computer or into the drive of the computer. And yeah, so all right, well I'm going to leave it there anyway, YouTube. Thank you very much for your time. This was just my little security tech tips or handy tech tips, just to point out some of the security flaws. You could say flaws or just security stuff that you have to be conscious of, especially this day and age. So I'm going to leave that right there anyway. Okay, thank you very much, YouTube. Catch you later. Bye.